And I'm sure you guys know about the elderly woman that was found at the scene.
Oh my God, that was horrifying. That was horrifying.
Do you think you could do something like that?
Yeah.
You do? Why is that?
Last February, he told me that he has thoughts about murdering people and it doesn't bother him. And he feels like he could kill someone in cold blood and not even care about it one bit.
What was the purple stuff that was on there? Did the purple stuff have to do with the whole piece that you don't understand why you do? Did you maybe use it like kind of as a lubricant for something?
"17-year-old Gavon Ramsay was brought in for questioning after a man had reported that his car was stolen. Gavon had had previous run-ins with the police and was automatically made a suspect of the theft. But as this case continues, the police would later realize that a stolen car was the least of their worries.
Oh, God. I'll sit here. Let me turn my ringer down. I was trying to reach his dad, but he's at work and he's not letting me answer his phone.
We've had a lot of goings on in your neighborhood lately.
I know.
Yes, and probably more than the general public is aware.
I'm sure.
More than one incident. Yeah, so more than one incident. So.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we're trying to see if, they're all related.
Right.
Gavon, does your mom know why you're here?
I think for the
Well,
most part, yeah.
he said he climbed on top of a church.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be more to that story, because I wouldn't be going down here and picking up a pool if that's what you did.
So we were just walking around. He didn't even drive. Like, we just walked.
Oh, he walked from his house on Euclid?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
And then we met up at Durling, and we weren't really doing anything. Then we went over to the church and climbed on top. And then we went, into the courtyard, but that's all we did.
Now, you did more. Unfortunately, you guys have left behind some very telling items, okay? If we're going to get to the bottom of this, let's just make it the truth all at once. Let's deal with it and get it done.
You're 17.
Yeah.
You're a kid, so you're not looking at as much trouble as... So you snuck back in the house there right after that?
Yeah.
And just so you know, we did stop him, I'm sure. He said he told you that.
Yeah, he did.
But he texted you that and let you know that he got stopped. Did you know he left his phone?
Yeah, he told me.
Yeah, and your green lighter?
He got stopped on the way home. Good.
Yeah. You guys do anything else in the area?
No, he told me you were talking about, car thefts and stuff, but that's not anything I'm involved in.
You talked to Lori?
Yeah, he texted me, he's got a computer and everything.
Okay. Good grief. So you guys didn't go into any cars? You know what? It would make me feel a lot better now if it was just the two of you that went into the cars.
Yeah.
Because of the other issue in the area, I'm sure.
I didn't even know there was a car issue there.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You guys didn't, now would be the time to tell, okay? Because we processed the cars, we did fingerprints and DNA.
He's notably defensive and reluctant to provide clear answers.
When was this recent time that he got in trouble on?
He has not had any freedom at all. I mean, he literally goes to work and home probably 3 months because he makes bad choices, and we don't want that for our kids. So he literally has no life.
Gavon, we've had some really serious things happen in your neighborhood and in that area, okay? We had a carjacking.
Oh, my God.
And the suspect is a young white male with a nice complexion and blue eyes. Is that you?
No, it's not me. I wouldn't know the first thing about jacking a car.
Well, it's a little more to the story, but, you know, you didn't take anybody's car? Have you ever used an app called Grindr?
No,
How do you feel about gay people?
I'm not gay.
Oh, well, that's okay. But, and I'm sure you guys know about the elderly woman that was found at the scene.
Oh my God, that was horrifying. That was horrifying.
The elderly woman the detective is talking about is Margaret Douglas, aged 98. She lives a couple of blocks away from Gavon's home. She was murdered and her body was found stuffed inside the closet. But before we head into those details, you need to first understand the full story.
Gavon, do you know anything about it?
No, honestly, probably 5 or 6 people.
That you talked to? Is that what you're saying?
Gas, let's look at it this way. Honesty is always what's best.
I'm not holding anything back. Like,
You've already gotten yourself in trouble, so.
I know, and I don't even. I don't know what to say.
Is there more? Because you know it all
No,
comes out.
it's not that there's anything more. It's what the fuck, dude. I'm mad at myself. I'm so mad at myself. Like, honestly, I don't even want to live at home anymore. I don't know, I'm not fucking normal. I need to live somewhere else. Like, if, I don't know, some halfway house or something, I honestly would not care.
Why would you want to live in a halfway house? What is so wrong about living at home?
No, but there's nothing that they do, it's me. Like, everything I'm putting them through, I'm costing them thousands of dollars. Constant heartbreak. I've honestly probably never made either of them proud. I don't do anything fucking good.
Stop cussing.
It's a word.
Well, it's disrespectful.
You're making it sound like it's no big deal right now.
I'm
not trying to be disrespectful to you or my mom. I'm just saying, like, right now you're making it seem like, oh, you just went, you know.
To us, there's more serious things out there.
Yeah, I know, but then I go to court and it's completely different. Like last time, the cop told me, oh, like, whenever I got the felony, like, yeah, it'll be, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he wasn't even making it sound bad. And then, next thing you know, I'm on probation for 6 months with a felony and 2 misdemeanors.
Were these cars all unlocked, or
Yeah.
they didn't break?
No, they were all unlocked.
So would you just walk through the neighborhood trying people's cars? What'd you do if somebody did that to my car? Like, that's so upsetting and scary.
I understand that, but it's really their own fault for not locking it.
No, I don't lock mine half the time. Did you sneak out last week?
No.
So you had nothing to do with that? Because
No.
again,
None of that stuff was going to be me. What I did was last night, in our general area, we walked around. Honestly, can you two actually leave for a second?
What's that?
Can you two actually leave? So I can talk to her.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
sure.
The carjacking, it was me, I'm gonna be honest about it, but the way that he explained it, that guy, that's not right. That grinder thing, yeah, I have been on it. And this guy was like the first time that this happened, and I told him, like, I was 17 and everything, and I wasn't planning on doing anything with him. It's not my style. I was just, like, he's a 40-year-old man trying to get with a 17-year-old, so I was just gonna rob him. It's still messed up, but against what he's doing, I don't really think it is. And then the whole carjacking thing, I never even left Overlook. I literally, I got in, and he's like, what, should we go to the back seat? I'm like, yeah, sure. So he got out. I sit and locked the doors, and hopped in the driver's seat and just drove around and messed with him, and then I left.
So then you got out and left?
Yeah, I didn't damage the car, I didn't.
Well, we knew it was there, you know, when he finally went
Yeah.
somewhere to get a phone, and we knew there was something more to the story that he wasn't telling us.
Yeah, I didn't damage any of his stuff, I just, like,
Do you have his wallet?
no.
And
I don't know, I didn't want to say that in front of my mom.
are you gay?
No, that's not it. Like, I didn't have any plans to do anything sexual. It was just for him being that crappy of a person to try and get with a child, basically.
At what point in time did you tell him how old you were?
Over text is when I told him, and that's why I decided I was going to do that.
Is it text on your app?
Yeah.
Okay. Why were you on that app?
Really just for that reason, to find guys that are that low of people, I guess.
That want to get with kids?
Like, it's karma, really. Like, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to rob you.
And you told him how old?
I was 17.
You told him you were 17? And what was his response to that?
He was, like, okay, and he was down to meet. So that's when I decided I was just going to take his money and leave. Him getting the payback, I guess, I don't know, that's what, like, made me even get the app and do all that. Not because of emotions or, like, feelings towards other men.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all of it.
You didn't hurt that old lady, did you?
No, and that's what I was pissed about earlier.
What were you pissed about?
They're like, oh, you killed her, didn't you? I really feel like you did. I'm like, no, I didn't.
So people are saying that?
Yeah, and it's making me really mad. It really is. That's what my mom was saying too, is like, what she thinks, two things it could be is like a grandson and nephew, like, because my brother's friend, his dad works for some county, and he was saying that like, her entire family was like in a will and they were all getting like money and stuff. So he was saying like one of the grandkids or nephews, or I don't even know who's in the family, but they could have done that to get money, or just some junkie in Wadsworth, which that would not surprise me.
Yeah.
Just going to break into a house to get some money or something they could pawn.
I'm sure your mom's standing out there freaking out.
Yeah, she probably thinks I'm confessing to murder. She's been in here so long.
How are you going to tell your mom? Do you want me to tell her? Do you want to tell her? Well, we talked a little bit about the carjacking situation.
It's
not what you think.
no.
Okay. It's not a gun in the face and I'm going to steal your car. There's an app called Grindr that people use for hookups. And
I wasn't hooking up with the guy. I planned on robbing him because he was trying to meet up with a 17-year-old. Like, I didn't go on the site looking for, like, sex or anything. Like, I'm not gay. I went on there, honestly, like a catfish kind of thing.
I don't even know what that means.
that means he made a profile that said he's 18 or 19, and they start chatting on the app, and he says, I'm underage, I'm only 17, and the guy says, I don't care, let's meet up anyway and hook up.
I don't know.
So they met in the parking lot,
Yeah.
and he said, let's do this.
I closed the front passenger door and he closed his, and then I locked the doors and he was locked out, and I got in his car, or I got in the driver's seat and I cracked the window, and he was, you know, like kind of blah 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 outside my car. I'm like, no, you just tried to hook up with a child. Like, I'm still a minor. And then, like, I never even left Overlook parking lot with his car. I literally went up, turned around, and then, like, messed with him a little bit. Like, I would go up to him, and then I'd gas it a little bit, and then I turned around, and he came up to the door, And I'm like, where's your wallet? Brady's like, can I have my phone? I'm like, no, but where's your wallet? I was like, I'll give you your phone if you give me your wallet. So I was going to take his money. He said he didn't have it. And then, like, I looked away for a second. He, like, grabbed the window and tried to, like, break it. And then I took off and, like, parked up by the dumpsters, and he was gone. When I
Gavin, you mind going out with Officer Cooper and I can talk to your mom just for a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just,
Yeah.
I think you will choose.
It doesn't matter, we'll get it afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you have any concerns about him hurting himself?
I tell you what,
That's the feeling I got when he was getting really upset.
He recently, like, he's on and off for years, his new dog Busher. Like, she's been good for him.
And she's fantastic.
Love her. Like, she has a connection with him. He would talk to him around.
Gavon was then let go, but the police took his phone to continue with their investigation. Detectives were looking for any information on Gavon's phone that would shed light about the carjacking, but what investigators discovered was more shocking and horrifying than anything that they thought it would be. The following footage is of Howard and Cindy Margaret's family, and also the ones who discovered the body.
And I'll be there in just a second.
Just like right here?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
you're not gonna need these, right?
I'm not gonna guarantee that, hon,
Okay.
Put it back there. If I need it, I'll get it, hon, okay?
Okay. Margaret was your
Aunt,
aunt.
yes.
Your,
Mother's sister,
okay, your mother's sister.
yes.
So I'm trying to put together a timeline.
I know, yeah.
So I talked to David,
Mm-hmm.
and, it sounds like he's her day-to-day.
Yeah, he keeps an eye on her.
And then my understanding is that you guys are kind of the closest family that she has.
Yes.
Okay. So how did you guys come to know that Margaret was missing or no one could get a hold of her?
Okay. David called us Sunday, this past Sunday, whatever, I don't know what date that was.
Okay.
And I actually was on the phone with my daughter on my cell phone. And so it had to be sometime between 4 and 4:30, because I was on the phone with my daughter on my cell phone, and I could see it come up on the TV where it says caller coming in, but I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't, think, I didn't really question, So it was sometime Sunday, I'd say between 4 and 4:30, sometime in that range.
And what did he say when he called? Did you talk to him?
I did not. Howard talked to him.
Did-
From what Howard said to me, David wanted to know if we had Margaret out.
Okay.
Because, a lot of times on Sundays we did. That was sort of our day. We'd go to church and we'd just come up here and, we'd take her to the store or do stuff with her. And
At what point in time who called our police department?
when we got up Monday morning, I said to Howard, you need to call the police department because something's just not, Steve hasn't seen her. David hasn't seen her. Jan hasn't seen her because, they went in the house and I said, something's, yeah, I said, you need to call the police department today because something's not,
Right.
that something's not right here. And I think they told Howard they were sending somebody out to go through the house.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what they said. Yeah.
How about the state of her house?
It's pretty much like that.
It's just like that?
When we come up, anybody comes over, they have to give her 2 days' notice.
Okay.
And she'll straighten up the downstairs area where they see, and she never wanted anybody to go upstairs to see.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's always a little bit messy.
Yeah, I was never allowed upstairs until we started being more of the caretakers, and then there was something I'd have to do upstairs, or, so she'd try to clean that area of the house up and have the other door shut.
And how many times did you guys go into the closet?
I went in twice. When we first got there, the first thing I did was open the closet, but I had to move that heater from in front of the door. It's never there.
Can you tell me how it was positioned in front of the door?
It was flat against the door, where all I had to do was put my fingers underneath the top lip, and I lifted it up and set it out of the way the first time I looked. And then I wanted to make sure, put it back the way it was, so I moved it back.
Okay.
And then I guess my wife was telling me today she was in there twice.
Okay.
And then I was in there the second time I went in, when the lady asked the police officers, is there a key that we can possibly lock the front door?
Okay.
And then closet next to it, if it was me, I'd have a skeleton key, because that's all it took, hanging on a nail or something inside.
Okay.
So I looked up there, feeling around, see if there was a key there, and there wasn't, and I went to close the door, and some of those closets slipped down. This is after my wife got the code out.
Okay.
So I threw those back. Trying to throw them back up so I can close the door again, and that's when I noticed the tennis shoe. So I tried to pick it up, I couldn't pick it up. I'm thinking, what's holding the shoe? So I just finally grabbed another piece of clothing and threw it back, and I've never seen this before in my life.
Okay.
White, you know, and I touched it, it was cold, felt clammy, but felt like styrofoam to me. So I moved it. Give me a minute. So I moved another piece of clothing, and that's when I tend to go down like this, and I felt it up part of the leg, and it felt the same way. I'm thinking, why has she got styrofoam in here? What is it? And then it hit me.
So it took you a minute to realize that it was her in there?
Yes, it did. That's when basically we left the house. I've never seen, I'm sure you guys do all the time, but I've never.
Yeah, it's not something you get used to, and no matter how many times you see it.
And to me, it didn't look like flesh or skin. That's what.
It took you a minute to realize what it was.
Oh, yeah, then oh, God.
And nobody else, she didn't, you know, have any problems with anybody that...
Not that I know of. Margaret bothered no one. That's why it's so just horrid about this. Sorry. She wouldn't hurt, please. Just want her to, I mean, not that I know of, I never heard her say about any kind of disagreeing with anybody or nobody, you know, I never heard her mention anything.
I'm sure you seem like a very smart woman. I'm sure you put together that she did not go in there by herself.
No, she did not
and
go
put
in there
that
by
heater in front of the door. It's
No,
not
no,
possible.
we are very much aware of
Okay,
that.
okay. I've just talked to a few people, and they just don't seem to be...
Oh, no.
That doesn't seem to be clicking for them, so...
That was the first thing. I almost, and why our brains work that way, I don't know. I don't know why our brains don't. I almost said to someone because I was the one who got in the closet first, and I almost said, why is this heater here? But I didn't. I didn't say that.
But you thought to yourself, that's weird.
I did. That was the first, as soon as I walked over there, and I said to in my head, I said, why is that heater there? But I guess we were I guess we were in a situation that, you know, we had not been in before, and we were...
Stressed.
Yeah, that's a good word, yeah.
Well, she didn't get in there herself.
I know. She wasn't in the heater by herself or covering herself up. I know that. And I have no idea.
You don't know how
I'm hoping there's enough DNA or something to lead to somebody.
Yeah. What do you think should happen to somebody like that?
To be honest,
Yeah.
I say go to prison with a label on and tell people what you did.
I won't argue with you about that one.
Yeah, and let the inmates take care of you. I know that'll never happen, so.
Well,
They find out, they have ways of finding out, but
yeah.
for a 98-year-old lady to do something like that,
Mhm. And you can't think of anybody that would want to hurt her or that would gain
no.
anything.
But I can't imagine if she would open the door for anybody.
You don't
you know.
think she would, or you think?
I don't know if she would, or maybe if somebody said they were collecting for cancer, maybe,
So
or
she,
something like that.
she might be easily tricked.
Yeah. I mean, she was sharp as a tack, but if somebody said, I'm collecting for Cancer Society, she might have said, well, let me make a donation. And she went and got her wallet. Because I can't find, they didn't go through anything, it looked like. How would they find her wallet? That's the only solution I come up with.
So the house was messy, and but it didn't look like.
Yeah, no, nothing was opened up or dumped, because we were robbed once and we know what they do.
Mhm.
So, and every drawers were all closed and everything looked like it normally looked, other than the clutter, which she always cleaned up before we got there.
Right. Anything that happens that night, I mean, I know it was very traumatic and you might have a hard time sorting through everything that happened that night, but anything that anyone said to you that night that made you feel uneasy or think that's weird, or, sometimes when
Yeah.
when bad things happen, it's at the hands of the people closest to them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything that anybody said,
It set off an alarm? No.
no.
Investigators found 14 photos of Margaret in Gavon's phone. 2 of those images were of Margaret's face, 8 were of her chest area, and 4 were of her genital area. Following this, detectives rushed back to Gavon's house to make an arrest.
When you had your mom leave the room the other day, were you going to tell me this?
No, this was the carjacking thing. I thought about it, but I didn't know what to do.
Did you know I'd be coming to see you after we got your phone?
I figured. As soon as I heard the knock on the door, if my boots were tied, I think I would.
They brought him in for questioning again, but let us find out what his friends have to say about him.
Thank you for coming in here. That's the reason I want to talk to you is a little bit about Gavon.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously prior to everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys ever talk?
Yeah.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Did he ever tell you about anything he's doing or what's going on in the world, or?
Well, he did tell me, about, the carjacking.
He did tell you about that? Would you think he could do something like that?
Yeah.
You do? Why is that?
I don't know, I'm not gonna lie to, cover his ass because he's screwed right now anyways. Last February, he told me that he has thoughts about murdering people and it doesn't bother him. And, he feels like he could kill someone in cold blood and not even care about it one bit. I honestly believe that he's a sociopath.
Obviously you're here,
Mm-hmm.
of your own free will.
Right, yeah.
You're not in a rush, not being charged or anything like that, and you want to talk to us, is that correct?
Absolutely.
What do you want to talk to me about?
The Douglas murder, I forget her last name, I'm sorry. It hasn't, not that I've seen, the name hasn't been released on who the suspect in custody is, but I'm pretty sure who it is. My best friend Gavon, ramsay.
Why do you think that?
We got in trouble, the other day, and it just matched, I guess, what we were doing and then what the suspect also did in the past, and it's hard to, I guess, say exactly, but it's pretty obvious it's him.
Why?
Things that we did in the past,
Meaning, what?
I guess I keep saying things in the past. A couple days ago, I talked to Detective Shimenos, or...
Okay, I understand you guys tried to break into a church and then break into a trailer a couple days ago. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and then...
you broke into some cars before?
No.
Okay, go on.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes, and it said that the suspect was involved with that too, which is how I can kind of correlate the two together. And then from things of like talking in person with him, he's brought it up before.
What do you mean you brought it up before?
I took it as a joke before, which I see that was not the way to handle that. He told me that he did it.
You gotta explain it.
I know, I'm sorry.
Right now, I know you're nervous, but
Yeah.
right now you're telling me stuff that don't make any sense.
I know, I'm sorry.
So, how about this, just relax. What did he tell you he did?
I can't say when for sure. I don't remember. We were talking in person. It's not written out in text messages or anything. He brought it up that a lady was killed like 5 houses down from where he lived and how crazy it was. And, you know, we're talking about that. And what I took it as a joke said that he actually did it. And he was telling me that he just feels empty. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, man.
I didn't know he could do that.
You sure I can't get you a drink? I know telling me about it doesn't give you much relief.
Just change the fact that it ruined my life.
Gavon, what happened to Margaret's underwear?
Her.
All right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, there was a bit of an altercation. Like, she wasn't up whenever she was going to the phone.
Okay. So did you kind of wrestle with her then?
A little bit. Like, just off the couch.
On the floor? And her underwear got torn then?
Yeah, I kind of got.
So when she died, was she on the couch or on the floor?
Floor.
Were you on top of her then?
Kind of.
Like straddling her?
Yeah.
And did you use one hand or both?
Both.
And did you squeeze it or push her against the floor or both?
Both.
And you said you don't remember if she was bleeding at that point?
bleeding is when I put my hand over her mouth.
So when you were holding your hand over her mouth, you might have pushed too hard and maybe made her nose bleed.
Yeah.
So, were you in her house for a little while before you woke her up?
I mean, I came up onto the porch, and I didn't even know what I was gonna do. And I looked in the window and everything. I don't know, I felt like going into a house is like the biggest adrenaline rush I could get, I guess. So then I tried the doorknob, and that just happened to be unlocked.
Was it the front door or back door?
Or back door. I opened the door, and I just listened. And then I didn't hear anything, so maybe nobody's home. And then I go to walk around that corner, like I'm still going slow, but I see her, and she's, I don't know, like sleeping or something. And then I go to turn around and hit the chair, and it made a noise, and she woke up.
And she started to scream at that point, you said?
Yeah, because like when I hit the chair, I like turned back around, and I looked, and she was there staring at me and started to yell. And then went for the phone. She already knew what it looked like.
Now, there's a couple of videos of you kind of peeking over the edge of the couch and videotaping her. When was that all done?
That was on the same night. Why did I lie about anything? That was stupid.
It's okay. Oh, you went to the house earlier?
No, like I never went to the house before, but like I went in and I was being quiet and everything. And like how it happened, like I wasn't lying about that, but I did, you know, like I turned the corner, I did see her.
And you hid?
Yeah, then I hid and I like, you know, was taking my phone. I was taking pictures to see if she was awake.
I got you.
And then
Throughout the interrogation, the detectives subtly presented contradictions in Gavon's statements. They allowed him to tell his side of the story first, but as he gave different versions of events, they subtly pointed out the discrepancies, which induced cognitive dissonance in him. This made Gavon question his own narrative, further increasing his discomfort and possibly leading him closer to revealing the truth.
How long did you stay there before you put her in the closet?
that was probably like 30 minutes. I just kind of sat there and I didn't know like what was going on. Like I was so in shock from it, I guess. It was like adrenaline and shock at the same time. So like 1 second I'm like, I don't know, adrenaline.
You know, and the next thing you know, it's like
It's
fluid overload.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So what did you do with your gloves when you left?
I threw those away
Where at?
in the trash can.
What was the purple stuff that was on there? I get it, that there's a whole piece of this that you don't understand why you do, okay? I understand the whole piece that you don't understand. And I get that. Did the purple stuff have to do with the whole piece that you don't understand why you do? No.
The purple stuff was that jelly. I don't even know where that came into play at.
Did you maybe use it like kind of as a lubricant for something?
it a part you don't understand, or is it a part just embarrassing? In your own mind, you know what I mean, in your own mind? Because it's okay.
None of this is okay.
Well, it's not okay, I'm saying we understand if it's an embarrassing part, since you're not sure, we understand that part. You know what I mean, it's okay that we understand it that way.
You put the jelly on the glove, is that when you use her hand to rub your penis?
Yeah.
I think that's why I broke into the cars and stuff, because there's that risk factor, and all I've ever done is take risk, because that's the only thing that makes me,
That's your drug, adrenaline?
yeah, like, I don't know, nothing feels real to me. When I have adrenaline, it's like, alright,
You feel alive, like there's meaning to you, right?
I don't know about meaning,
But you understand, like you feel like
yeah,
something.
it feels different, it's like, I don't know how to explain that.
Any bad stuff inside you goes away.
I guess,
So your whole intention of going in the house was just the adrenaline of being in somebody's house.
yeah, I didn't even want to rob the house.
It was just the sneaky thrill of can I get in somebody's house and get out and get away with it.
Yeah, but if the door was locked, I would have just walked away. I would have been like, I'm not gonna try and go open a window or climb on the roof and go in. I would have just left, just like a car. If a car is locked.
Him saying that he would have probably not killed Margaret if the door was locked feels like he is blaming the victim rather than taking responsibility for his actions.
Are you worried about what your family would think?
Just outside the hallway, his parents are being told of the horrors that their son had done.
Contained images of Margaret before and after her death, as well as videos of your son with her.
Having sex with her?
Engaging in sexual acts with her.
You need to sit down.
Was she still alive when he was doing that?
No, I don't believe
Oh my God. This isn't happening. This isn't real.
It sounds like he's probably been leaving the house as frequently as he can. And just going through people's vehicles and, you know, trying to break into different places. And it just escalated to the point where he thought, I'm going to try the door. And that's how we ended up where we're at.
How did she die? Did he do
I can't discuss those details.
Did he do, I'm asking.
There's nothing that's been formalized.
Okay.
Anything we say would be speculation.
Right.
We don't have an autopsy.
Okay.
We do know that it was by a physical force.
Okay.
We do know it was an exterior force. I guess that's the best way to describe it.
So what's going to happen now?
Well, at the present time, he's being transported to the juvenile detention facility, and he'll be held there. Oh my God! The nature of the charges are such that it's what's called a compulsory bindover.
Okay, I don't even know what that means.
It means there's two types of bindovers. When a juvenile, somebody who's 17 years old, there's a discretionary bindover. There's certain types of cases where there's an evaluation made as to whether or not he should be tried as an adult. And then there's a compulsory bindover. In a compulsory bindover, it's almost automatic. He will be tried as an adult.
I thought that you were good at this.
I wish I could.
And then there was just, there was comments on his phone, or,
It doesn't matter. It's
gonna say, was Braden involved in any of this?
Not that we're aware of at this point.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you right now,
You watch.
you keep your eye on that Braden, what's his
Bruce Barker.
because he is
He is a
coerced and taken a hold on our son for the past 4 or 5 years, and all the shit that has happened with my son. My son is not like this. We're a good family.
This isn't a
I know that, but I mean, I've raised, when this happened, we were just thinking, that woman was 98 years old.
Or 92, I think, 92.
No, she was
98 years old. Just living out her days. And here's my son. My son did this. And I'm mother***ing all these people out here. And it's my son.
He was charged with aggravated murder, aggravated burglary, kidnapping, and abuse of a corpse. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.